Hello, I'm here to self-surrender. With those words, I started a 9-year prison sentence at FCI Otisville, the federal prison in Otisville, New York. You can change the world today for someone with love. Who was the last person that you told that you love? And who was the last person who said they love you? I've heard through this class and a prior class some of the ways that people came here to Harvard and to the extension school. And I know that although we'd all like to think we did it all on our own, I've heard some stories about the love and the support that helped get you here. I'm just one person, and it's taken a lot of love and a lot of help from a lot of people for me to be here today. We humans evolved as a communal sort of teamwork species. We need support and encouragement and care from the time we're born through toddlerhood, teen years, into adulthood, and even as seniors. It doesn't just take a village to raise a child, it takes a village to live. We often fail to reach out to and show our love to strangers, to acquaintances, and sometimes even our own families. In prison, I heard some really disturbing stories, sometimes so bad that I had to actually get up and walk away. One inmate told me about watching as his father, grandfather, and uncle bound, gagged, and tied a rock around one of his uncles and threw him in a river to drown just because they suspected he was gay. Another inmate told me about holding his brother after he'd been shot in a gang battle because they were in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time, and his brother happened to be wearing the wrong colors. He bled out in my friend's arms because no ambulance would enter the neighborhood. How do we get beyond this? And what could I do for these men? I could listen to them. I could put an arm around them, and I could tell them that they and their stories mattered. I'm working on a book, and I'm going to try to include those stories and many others. But what takes us beyond those things? The Human Genome Project told us, and we know this, our DNA is 99.9% identical. It means that every one of us is related. From the 6'5", 400-pound Jamaican boss that I once had, who had the darkest skin I've ever seen, to the 5'2" rabbi with a fiery red beard who was our chaplain in prison. 0.1% of our DNA separates all of these people and everyone on the planet and everyone in this class. 0.1%. For me, that means we're all living cousins, and that means we have an obligation to love each other and to support and encourage each other. My own journey has been a weird, twisted tale, and the prison chapter started in this grimy 1980s prison lobby, facing a bulletproof glass with a bored, overpaid, disinterested federal employee. There were grimy orange chairs, and the white ceiling tiles were stained brown from leaks in the roof. But the floor was this highly polished white linoleum. I later learned that the prison's actually pass inspection based almost entirely on the shininess of the floors and virtually nothing else. But the reason that room stands out in my mind and will is because it's the place that my family said goodbye to me and where they came to retrieve me. After losing my home to a devastating fire, my insurance company took me to court and tried to force me to settle. They lost, they appealed, and they lost again. But that was state court. So they called in the feds, and I was charged with arson and fraud. There wasn't really a case, but it was an investment house, and I had a co-investor, and he had a twin brother who was mentally challenged. The U.S. Attorney's Office and the court-appointed defense attorneys, we each had our own. His took the opportunity to have him sign a statement. They threatened him with life in prison if he wouldn't sign a statement that his brother and I had committed arson and fraud. We were forced to sign a plea deal to a lesser charge, and I went off to prison. His brother ended up committing suicide by drug overdose because of he felt that he'd betrayed his brother's love. I could say that I survived prison all on my own, and oh, I'm so powerful, but I'm not, and that's not how it works. I was depressed. I was made fun of constantly for being gay, and I thought about suicide. But then a letter would come, or a postcard, or a birthday card, or a picture from my cousins out hiking and telling me, hey, you're going to be coming with us soon. And it helped get me through. But the other thing that really got me through was the love of one of my good friends who could afford it and paid for my tuition so that I could go back to college. And I graduated with honors, sitting in a prison cell because of the love of the people around me. Study into post-incarceration suicide showed that those who have been released from a long sentence actually have a suicide rate that is 18 times higher than the regular population. But I'm one of the lucky ones because I have people that love me and reach out to me. And I try to do the same. When my friends have suffered from HIV and AIDS or cancer or homelessness, I've reached out. I've done what I can to support them. Love can make such a difference. You don't have to change the whole world, but each of us can reach out. And my question is, what if each of you reached out tonight or tomorrow? Just a phone call, a text, sent a card, and those people reached out to one more person and one more person. It would be a tidal wave of love around the whole world. Please take the opportunity tonight or tomorrow to reach out to somebody you haven't talked to in a while and tell them that they matter. Ask them how they're doing and tell them that they're loved. The funny thing about love is that the more you give away, the more you have to give. You could change the world today for someone with love. Any questions?
We have 1 minute for questions.
Nothing.
What made you decide to go back to the school?
I'd actually started back before the case happened because I passed 40 and didn't have a bachelor's degree because I started a business when I was in college the first time. And so my friend came to visit after a month and he said, I know you've gone back to school and you're facing a really long time. And I actually served 6 years. And he said, look, if you can find a way to do it, I'll pay for your school. And so I did, and I got an associate's and then a bachelor's. Any other questions? Oh, I think we're done. We're out of time. Go ahead, wait, Yasmin, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say how do you, so many questions, it was really good, it was really emotional. I don't know, I was gonna say, how do you manage to come out? Now it's 5 seconds left. Sorry.
The with love.
I promise you will, wait,